How are you doing today? Welcome to my poker channel where I talk about poker news but also poker strategy. In today's video I'm going to have a look at Negreanu's recent post about the state of poker in 2019 coming up. After Negreanu makes his post on Full Contact Poker about the state of poker in 2019 and basically lists the negative and the positive traits that you could bring to make a poker game attractive, Phil Goffon chimes in and asks why people are attacking Daniel on this and whether they have a problem with this blog post. And I would definitely say yes and try to answer why that is in this video. Well, first of all, if you make the title of your blog post the state of poker 2019 and the entire post is not going to be about bans in poker, or there's nothing in there about bans in poker, which is the biggest problem in poker, nor rake in poker and how much it has increased over the last years, especially online, and how we can help new players in the game have a better experience in the game, for example, micro stakes players online, then you're just completely full of shit. I mean, ask yourself, is this really how you would talk about the state of poker 2019 if you were a poker ambassador? Would you really then try to point out weaknesses of some people's personality? Is this really a deal if you look at the games you're playing at? Is this really about, someone bringing negative attitudes to a game and positive attitudes to a game? Not really. I mean, if you look at all the players you're facing, I'm playing thousands of players and up to something like 20, 40 in live games. And I don't think that more than 10% of players are that obnoxious that you wouldn't want to play with them anymore. It's just that there are some greedy regulars out there when it comes to these private games here that Negreanu is mentioning and this private game trade not slowing down. They just don't want to play with better players anymore. Some people might make $100 an hour, playing poker. They realize that in the high stakes games, well, I could make $200, $300, $400, $500 an hour if I just not allow certain people to play with me anymore, and I could just get to play with the weakest players at the table. So they come up with this whole plot and try to influence the losing player and plot them against the other regular so that it will make more money. This is just how it goes in high stakes poker. And Negreanu is not talking about the truth here. He never mentions this even in the slightest, even though this is a huge problem. And instead of trying to blame the online wizards and the crushers that they are just unsociable, he could also look at the whole picture and talk about those greedy regulars that are, so sociable, plotting people against each other, making these private games so that, they can make more money. I mean, if you don't mention this, you're just not putting it all out there. You're one-sided, you're twisting reality, and it's just another more rake is better and shots firing at online wizards or whatever you want to call them. I also want to quickly talk about these things that Negreanu brings up here in his blog post and these negative traits of people, being a winner, being slow, being quiet, a nit or a hater. And just ask you, do you really believe when you're playing poker that more than 10% of the players are like this? Like, honestly now, if I had the power to shut up people from the poker table, I would personally not shut up more than 10% of players out of these games. Because I don't think, even though, yeah, some people are negative. I mean, a lot of the times it's even the biggest losing players who are the most negative and the most hating on the table. But everyone's okay with it because after all, that person's losing money, right? So, and this is also what bothers me with this whole article or this whole blog post here, because it's not the truth. It's not the whole picture. It's not how poker is. It has nothing to do with reality. It's just a twist of it, and it's just not a shots fired at these online wizards or these stronger poker players than Negreanu, and trying to prove to them how much better he is as a poker player because he has so many more social skills and blah blah blah. Yeah, he's doing fine. I've played with Negreanu 2 years ago in the Bahamas, and for sure he's engaging. He's talking to other players. He's complimenting you on certain things in order to get something out of you, a read or whatnot. And yeah, he's doing that. What he's doing at the tables, he's certainly doing some good stuff. But at the same time, now making this blog post, it's just it's just ridiculous in the end. And also, you know, he talks about, you know, things like straddling and whatnot. Like, you know, whether you straddle or not, it's totally your call. If you are a person who wants to have a straddle, a 3-blind structure, why not just find guys and sign up for a game with, you know, 8 or 9 players at the beginning and say, look, we're going to play a 3-blind structure. We're going to play that because we don't want a nitty game. And when a game has 3 blinds, the game's automatically going to be less nitty. And that's very simple. Someone who plays too tight in those games, too tight, is going to lose money because of folding these 3 blinds too much. And you also might have, especially in a game like PLO, that person also might be too predictable. You know, just buy in deep with that person. Make the minimum buy-in higher so that people kind of just 3-bet you with aces and get like 80% of their money in pre-flop. Just do that. If you play deep stack, you won't have problems with these tighter players with 3 blinds at all. So just do that at the beginning and don't have this group pressure where you just try to force it on people to, in the middle of the game after 1 or 2 hours, double the stakes. Because, you know, even some recreationals, not just the professionals, sometimes they might not find it that cool when all of a sudden, instead of a 5-10 game, the game becomes 10-20 and super deep, and now they have to quit the game that they would otherwise have enjoyed. You know, just think also about the other players at the table, not just about yourself. And I think that's what I would tell Negreanu as well. Don't just think about yourself and your friends in poker, just also think about the whole industry. Get reconnected with who's playing poker these days. Get reconnected to, you know, all these micro stakes players online that try to have fun playing poker, try to learn about poker, try to become better at the game, trying to understand what they can do to win. And, you know, instead of just making these random posts, naming them the State of Poker 2019, where you don't really talk about the problems in poker at all. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more coming up here in the future under Andreas Fröhlich Poker. Thanks for watching.